Today I fucked up by chugging 24 ounces of water right before donating plasma. I want to preface by saying I saw a post on here last night and thought to myself, I wonder when I'll have something to post on here? For the love of God, never be as foolish as I was. This happened a couple hours ago. I'm a healthy 25-year-old guy currently in professional school. I've recently discovered the gem of donating plasma for some extra spending money. It helps me feel a little better considering my loans are astronomical. Anyway, I set my appointment for 9 o'clock today. I slept in until roughly 8:20 to give myself just enough time to get ready and then drive 20 minutes to the donation center. Since my last drink of water was the night before, I made sure to chug the remainder of my water bottle to help my donation go faster. That was roughly 24 ounces. For those who are unfamiliar, the process of donating plasma takes around an hour and drinking water speeds up the process. Being hydrated equals juicy blood equals less time to reach the goal volume. Importantly, once they put the needle in your arm, you're pretty much stuck there until the donation ends. For my very first donation, I didn't pee before I got the needle in, and I ended up fighting for my life. It only takes one near-piss experience to remind you to pee beforehand in the future. Today was no different. I peed right before I sat down to start the donation. She hooked me up, and I started watching the next episode of The Mandalorian. All was well. Until about 30–35 minutes later. I suddenly realized I would be having a repeat of the first time. I guess the 24 ounces had started to reach my bladder. I must have only peed out what I had from last night. I tried my damnedest to focus on the show and wiggle my feet to distract myself. The show ended and I was left to consider the gravity of my situation. I was around 2/3 through donating, so probably another 20 minutes. I had already been clenching my teeth for 15. I was struggling so bad I just sat there in silence and prayed I would have the bladder of a warrior today. Now you ladies might not have ever considered that guys have a secret pee-proof technique. Simply grab your penis and you can manually keep urine from leaking. The trade-off is that the pressure builds up in your urethra rather than your bladder and is very painful. This is the last of last resorts. Once you do it, you're guaranteeing that there will be some leakage once you finally release your grip and extreme pain. Until then, I knew I couldn't endure that pain for the rest of my donation, so I didn't do it. Desperation overcame me and I mustered the courage to ask my phlebotomist if I could pause the donation to go to the bathroom. She was very nice and said, "Sure. We will just have to replace the fluids we've taken and then you can go." Lovely. I have a closer endpoint, though unfortunately it's still several minutes away. While I'm waiting, I have more time to think and discover that at some point my urethral sphincter couldn't contain the floodwaters and I had pissed myself. It wasn't enough to get the seat wet and happened gradually enough to where my clothing just soaked it up, creating a large wet spot. I imagine it looked similar to Adam Sandler in Billy Madison, for size reference. However, I am so grateful that I decided to wear athletic shorts today instead of jeans. If I wore jeans, everyone would be able to tell I'm a big piss baby even out of the corner of their eye. While we were waiting for the donation to finish, she asked me if I was going to make it. I can only imagine how pitiful I looked to her, wide-eyed and wiggling in desperation. I thought for a moment and said, "I don't know. I mean, legitimately, what do I say? Yeah, I think I'll make it because I already pissed? No, I already didn't make it? Who knows?" With the speed of a seasoned street vendor, she pulled out the needle, wrapped my arm, and told me I was good to go. I discreetly dashed to the bathroom and lo and behold, I didn't have to pee that badly. Through the mirror, the spot was only mildly visible, so maybe I escaped unnoticed. I went back to my station and the phlebotomist told me I'm done even though we stopped the donation early. I'm grateful for that, but I wish I had realized that before I made one final sweep through the building with my pee-pee pants. To make matters worse, our washing machine shit the bed last week. Thankfully my neighbor was a saint and happily agreed to let me use hers. I'm already laughing, and cringing, at the memory of today. It's a funny story to tell and I guess I can relate to my future kids by telling them I wasn't potty trained until I was 25 years old. Too long did not read. I drank a bunch of water before donating plasma and despite peeing right before it started, I pissed on myself and had to stop donating early. My washing machine is also broken, so I'm having to use my neighbor's. I am immune deficient and rely on plasma donations to stay alive and healthy. Thank you for donating. GIF. Giphy. ZO RHDPSCWGIA If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. I once ate grilled cheese and tomato soup made with heavy cream before going. I'm surprised they even let me back to donate. I clogged the machine over and over. Also, I would pass out a lot and wake up with ice packs on my chest and legs in the air like, "Wah, it's bright in here." I thought this was gonna have to do with hypovolemic shock and blood thinning. But glad it wasn't, or you may be dead. Today I fucked up by drunk rage shouting at my neighbor. Actually happened 2 weeks ago, but I need to provide the backstory. First off, we've gotten along pretty well over the years and never had a problem. We'd get together for a few beers every now and then in the past and would have each other's back when it came to our homes. I.e. talking trash bins, grabbing mail if either of us were away. During the pandemic, he decided to put a pool in his backyard. Our yards share a large slope, fenced, and he put in a good-size waterslide in as well, which to be honest is pretty badass. We have a pool as well, no kids, he has 3 kids. The project took about a year and of course there was a lot of loud noise during construction, but we said yes to the project and signed the permission papers, so we took it in stride. I was happy for them to see it completed and it looked very, very cool. The problem started almost immediately. The water running for the waterslide is super loud, so that makes everything else super loud, including the repeat Green Day, Beach Boys, Jack Johnson playlist. The neighbor encourages the kids' shrieks and is actually louder than the kids, especially when they all decide to play Marco Polo. Our outdoor seating is all the way on the other side of our property from them, and it's impossible to enjoy some chill music as their shouts, screams and music drowns everything out. When I say it's loud, we're talking louder than the actual construction, loud to the point that it can be heard 3-4 houses down in the front of people's homes. As the weather got colder, we were looking for a break in the noise, but guess what? Dad bought the kids wetsuits so the party can continue. I tried to bring the noise concern up with my neighbor last year, just asking to keep it down a little bit and maybe ease up on the Marco Polo shouting, and his response was, "Oh well, boys will be boys. We're 2 years into this and it's gotten to the point that we don't enjoy spending time in our own backyard anymore. We've seriously considered putting the house on the market, but with today's prices and the current rates, where the hell are we going to move?" The missus and I decided to have a Bloody Mary, mimosa Saturday, and we had a lovely time, but by the end of it I clearly had way too many cocktails. We're enjoying our first quiet Saturday in weeks, and then all of a sudden the Green Day pops on, the screams start, and I totally lost it. I went to the fence like the neighbor from Home Improvement shouting, "Jesus effin' Christ. We agreed to a pool, not a mother F water park. If I had any idea this would be our lives, I would have never signed that effin' document," along with a bit more language about being sick of this shish. My neighbor was shocked. His wife wanted to call the police because I flipped out and used language in front of their kids. Thankfully, my wife told me to go inside while she diffused the situation, where I immediately passed out. The next morning I woke up knowing I had completely effed up on this one. I apologized for my tirade profusely via text, and we talked in person on the Monday and things are mended between us, but I've basically lost all rights to ever say anything again at this point. To make matters worse, I only decided to share this because we were having a lovely pool morning yesterday. At 10 a.m. I said to my wife, "What do you think it will be, Green Day, Jack Johnson or the Beach Boys?" And as I said that, Green Day's "Wake Me Up When September Ends" came blaring on Killing Our Day. TLDR by drunkenly shouting at my neighbor, freaking out his kids and ruining any say whatsoever of a little outdoor relaxation and enjoyment. Easy solution. Invest in a bigger sound system and play Nickelback and Cisco Thong on repeat until he comes to the table for negotiation. The fuck up on your part was backing down. You apologized profusely, instead of apologizing but emphasizing that you broke down because you had enough and how it's putting stress on you. Your neighbor is a dick, with a simple-minded taste in music. Nothing wrong with those bands, I like them too. But fuck, I'd get tired of all of that after a while too. This post made me laugh. I'd honestly report to the police for noise ordinance if possible. Wicked dickhead, you didn't. Today I fucked up anything.